A blacksmith cast aside by society. A broken sword, seemingly useless. A hermit sage dwelling high in the mountains. And one day, the entire fair fell silent as the commander of the royal army knelt before a man no one had ever paid attention to. What happened? How could a broken sword rewrite Amon's fate? Step into the journey of Banu, where each strike of the hammer forged not just iron, but also unshakable willpower. In a small village at the foot of the mountains lived a man named Banu, born into a family of traditional blacksmiths. He grew up with the sound of hammer striking iron, the blazing heat of the forge, and the acrid scent of burning metal. Banu loved his work, because in every blade and every plow he crafted lived a deep belief. Honest labor is sacred. But everything changed. Cheap machines from the cities flooded the countryside. People no longer needed hand-forged blades or plows, even if they were sharper and lasted longer. One day, the forge where Banu worked shut down. He lost his job and had not a coin left to his name. Unemployment stretched on for months. His wife, weary from poverty, took their child and returned to her mother's home. Banu searched for work everywhere, but people looked only at his rough, calloused hands and said, "You belong to a bygone era." He began to doubt himself. Each night, staring at the crumbling ceiling, he asked, "If I can no longer forge iron, then who am I?" In despair, Banu sought out a hermit sage who lived in a cave near the mountaintop. People said the old man could see what others could not. After Banu finished telling his story, the sage said nothing. He walked inside, then returned holding a rusty, dulled, broken sword. Placing it into Banu's hands, he said, "Forge it anew, not for others, but so you remember who you are. On the next full moon, bring it to the city fair." Banu was puzzled. The broken sword in his hands was no different from what he felt inside. Old, shattered, useless. But with nothing left to lose, he began. For a month, he lived in a makeshift hut in the forest. No electricity, no water, only a small forge and glowing red fire. He hammered, filed, forged, and filed again. With each blow, he reforged not just the blade, but himself. Every scar became a nameless lesson. The day of the fair arrived. Banu stepped into the city in old clothes, carrying the reborn sword. People laughed at him, a poor blacksmith among sleek, modern stalls. But just then, a man with a stern expression approached. He took the sword, examined it closely, and suddenly knelt before Banu. The entire fair gasped. The man was the commander of the royal army. He said, "This sword is one of the ancient treasures of the royal family. We shattered it and scattered hundreds of replicas across the land as a test. Only a blacksmith who truly understands the soul of iron could restore it. Until today, no one had succeeded, except you." That day, Banu, once seen as outdated and poor, was invited to become the chief blacksmith of the royal forge. Not just for his skill, but for his unwavering spirit. You may be forgotten by the world. You may be called obsolete, useless, cast aside like a broken sword. But never forget, steel becomes harder only after surviving fire. And so do people. If you hold on to your belief, shape every wound into strength, and keep moving forward, one day, the world may bow before the very fire you once lit alone. You are not the past. You are the proof of what the unyielding can become.